another video game discussion, this time on level design. And pretty much all of the level design that I find incredibly inspirational as someone who wants to be a really good game dev. So starting with my top four, we have the Hecatoncheires from God of War Ascension, the medical bay on the USG Ishimura that Isaac Clarke returns to in Dead Space 2, the water prison from Silent Hill 4, The Room, and Vault 22 from Fallout New Vegas. Two of these aren't explicitly horror games, but the horror elements are really what does it for me and give me insane levels of inspiration. Okay, number one, the Hecatoncheires from God of War Ascension. What the fuck? So the level of lore in this game is absolutely insane. But the thing about this particular level is the fact that it is a large giant that is alive, and it is a living prison, and you are essentially moving throughout this living being while it's literally suffering. So from the lore, Greek mythology, the Hecatoncheires broke an oath with Zeus, and in the game you have the Furies, and they pretty much decide, instead of killing him, let's just turn him into one giant fucking prison. So God of War does a really good job at like scale and perspective, and you're constantly fighting like very massive giant creatures, and I just find this to be one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. I have to play this game again. I haven't played it in a really long time since it like dropped, but like this is like I had such a thrilling rush just like playing this level for the first time. Like it's absolutely insane that something like this could happen. And there's constantly different parts where you'll see the Furies like put their bugs in the Hecatoncheires, and his eye is just like twitching and like moving, and like God knows what kind of pain that creature was in, but it's literally one of my favorite things ever. Next up, Isaac Clarke returning to the USG Ishimura medical bay level. Wow. First of all, Dead Space is by far one of my favorite horror games of all time. But like the essence of Dead Space is the sound design and environmental design. There's so many things to look at, and like just knowing that like absolute chaos and destruction and pain has gone through every single area you're moving through, and just like constant torture because the necromorphs are just relentless. And then the like also because there's so many shadows and like corners and shit, you're getting jumped at every step of the way. So not only is this particular level my favorite, but it's also, to add insult to injury, you have to have Isaac go back to the place where he already was traumatized in the first game. It's beautiful. It looks like the worst rave you've ever been to. I mean, it's glowing. There's literally like blood all over the place, which is like really luminescent. It's actually so gorgeous to me. I think it's so gorgeous, which is fucked up because it's such a fucked up situation you're in. But like there's just so much to look at. There's symbols, and like you know that it was just people going absolutely insane, writing unitology symbols on the wall, and like just all of that building tension, plus the constant banging and thumping and lurking in corners. Like it's just perfection to me. I love it. This is number 2 on my list. Number 3 is the water prison from Silent Hill 4, The Room. One of my favorite Silent Hill games. I think that the storyline is incredible. I actually would be so psyched if they did a remake, but the original in itself is camp, clunky mechanics, but this is one of my favorite level designs. The water prison is a very unsettling place. It makes me very uncomfortable. I feel dirty just being there. They did an excellent job at that, and then we also get to experience the twin victims, which is a very creepy creature design. I also will do a video at some point on my favorite creature designs because they are definitely on the top of my list. But yeah, just the lore of that place and knowing that they were taking orphans there and doing very awful, terrible things, and Walter Sullivan was there, it just makes it that much more intriguing and terrifying. So just one big cylindrical structure that has individual levels that can like turn, and then also having to like do the puzzle part where you line the beds up and there's just like a massive hole in the middle of the cells. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Beautiful design. And that's number 3. Final number 4 for this list for now, Vault 22 from Fallout New Vegas. I find this one to be one of the most intriguing. First of all, there's not enough plant horror. I really like anything horror with plants. Again, this is not inherently a horror game, but there's a lot of creepy vaults, and vault tech in general just gives me heebie-jeebies as far as corporate violence goes. So I think Vault 22 is insanely intriguing. Yeah, so, you know, the lore of Vault 22, they were a plant, whole bunch of scientists who were doing agricultural, like, science and a food vault, essentially, and this was supposed to be a type of pest control fungal situation, and it ended up infecting everyone, and they turned into spore creatures, and honestly, it's just so intriguing. It's kind of like I wish we had more plant horror stuff, kind of like The Ruins, and which the book is better than the movie, which I love the movie, but the book, read the book. Yeah, it looks like paradise from the outside too, if you disregard the sign that says stay out. Because it's actually so gorgeous to me, but it's like dingy in the vault itself, which I find all the vaults to be kind of dingy. Like it gives me claustrophobia, like thinking about potentially like having to live in an underground bunker. I'm not down. Like I just let me die in the blast, bro. But yeah, it's like if I had to pick a vault, unbeknownst to me that I would be dying later and turning into a plant creature, I would probably have picked Vault 22 if I was still a botanist and like somehow on the Fallout timeline. Ugh. Number 4.